What's going on, guys? It's your boy Kai here, and I had this idea last night. Okay, I own 15 decks on Moto, 13 of them in Modern, 2 of them in Pauper, and then I thought, what can I do to record all of the decks in one sitting? Because I sat down yesterday and I played all of these decks for like 6 or 7 hours straight, just grinded through switching decks and playing them all, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. It was so much fun. So I've decided I'm going to play what I'm calling my Moto Gauntlet. I'm going to start up at the top with Amulet End, make my way down, all the way down, and through the Pauper, and end up playing all 15 decks today. I had Amulet's End open for a reason. The way I'm going to go through the decks is... I just bumped my mic. When I win a match, I will switch decks. When I make the 5th match with a deck, if I don't win it, I will switch decks anyways. So I'm going to be recording at least 15 matches, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be recording a lot more than that, because some of these decks have a really hard time winning. So I'm going to spend the first video here going through all the decks. This one's pretty simple. I'm gonna go through them really quickly, just to try and condense down the time in this video. The first deck, really simple. My entire point of winning is Maze's End. I'm gonna sort by CMC. Basically, I'm just trying to play out as many lands as I can with Explore, and Zuzas, and Animist Awakenings, and secure Tribe Scouts. I'm then trying to cast some big Animist Awakenings and play some Treasure Hunts, and Dizzy Spell is in here so that I can grab Amulet of Vigor or Animist Awakening late game. And I'm trying to basically get Maze's End out as quickly as possible with all of the temples, or the what are they called? Gates. That's what they're called. They're called gates. I'm trying to get all of the gates out with Maze's End as quickly as possible. Next deck, I call it Hedron Grinding. It's basically just Jeskai Ascendancy with Zeta. And basically I'm trying to put out as many of these mana dorks as I can, Birds and Sylvan Caryatid and Utopia Tree, and I've got one Rattleclaw Mystic because I accidentally sold a Utopia Tree. But and then I'm trying to play Slip Through Spaces and Crimson Wisps and Cerulean Wisps on Zeta, which will then target all of my other creatures. And I'm trying to draw every card in my library so that I can finally play out a Labman with Savage Summoning if I need to. I've got a sideboard alternate win con in Tainted Strike, but I find it more fun to play with the Labman. Next, I call this one Esper Control, because that's what it is. It's straight through Esper Control. I've got win cons in Celestial Colonnade and Cameo Emblem and Vendilion Clique, and that's it. I'm trying to control you so that I can... Oh, I forgot to build my sideboard. Finish my sideboard. I need Sword. Sword. Up the Meek, where are you? There you are. Put 2 Sword of the Meeks in. I've got the Thopter Foundry combo in the sideboard, because why not? Seemed like fun. This next deck is really janky. It's entirely based around Notion Thief. I don't know if it can actually win a game, which is why I'm saying I might be here for more than 15 matches. Basically, I'm just trying to get out a Notion Thief and then play out a Dark Deal or a Days Undoing or Wistful Thinkings target them. Gaia Reach Sanctum is really good because I can activate this at any time. So on your draw step after you've drawn, I'll draw 2 cards and and each of us can discard. Basically, the entire point of the deck is to draw all of my opponent's cards and keep their hand empty while I swing in with Notion Thieves. That's my only win con, by the way. I could ultimate a Jace or Vendilion Clique here, but those aren't reliable win cons. None of it is, which is why I said I might be here for a little while. Next one is Retrieving Hearts. This deck is real jank. It's entirely based around getting out a Heartless Summoning and 2 Mire Retrievers with Alter the Brood or Shellhoff Occultist or Grim Haruspex out. That's it. That's how the deck wins. Next up is a straight just aggro deck. Basically, I'm trying to play out Hooting Mandrills or Tombstalkers or Gurmag Anglers or Saltai Scavengers as quickly as possible. That's it. That's all the deck does. It's got some Dredge in it with Shambling Shells and Life from the Loams and Stinkweed Imps. And Greater Moss Dogs. It's got some Grizzly Salvages to put cards in, Thought Scours and Thirst for Knowledges. Sideboard's a little weird because I've got white in the sideboard, so I have to take up 2 slots with white cards. Luckily, all of my fetches are white because those are the only ones I own on Moto. Next up is a really simple deck to explain because a lot of people have heard of it. The new Tamiyo broke doubling season because it basically just gives you an Omni with a doubling season. So basically the entire deck is just meant to play out a doubling season on turn 3, play out a Tamiyo on turn 4, and win with Emrakul or a Johnny Ultimate or taking infinite turns. Basically that's it. Next up is Scry Me a River, because that's the first time I've seen that bug. All of my entreats seem to have gone blue. The deck, sort by converted mana cost. I'm just playing a whole bunch of miracles, and because I'm playing a whole bunch of miracles, I have a whole bunch of Scry with Augury Owls and Serum Visions and Mystic Speculations and Thasas as a 4 of. I've got counter spells and mana leaks and remans and cryptics and calculated dismissals as well, but the deck is just trying to play an entreat for as big as possible. All of my miracles seem to have gone blue. Weird. That's not the one. Hedron's Alignment is next. Deck has one job, has one way to win. User to get a Hedron alignment in play, in hand, in graveyard, and in exile. Which sounds like it might be difficult, but it's not. I use Oath of Jace to pitch extra Hedron alignments. I use Thirst for Knowledge to pitch them. I use Snapbacks and Commandeers and Murderous Cuts to exile them. Detention Sphere can also exile them, but I'd rather use Deep Sphere to exile my opposing threats. Ground Seal basically just stops my opponents from exiling them from my graveyard so that I can win. That's the entire point of the deck, is to get out a Hedron alignment and then win. It's got no other win cons. Like, I might be able to get up to 5 mana to turn on Thassa, but it's not very likely. In the sideboard, that changes. I turn into basically Esper Control out of the sideboard again, but I don't like doing that. I'd rather win with the Hedron alignment with this deck. Next is Kiki's Alarming Discovery, which I think I've recently renamed, but I've forgotten what I renamed it to. A really simple idea. Try to get out an Intruder Alarm, try and get out a Kiki Jiki, try and get out any other creature that does not have Defender. That's it. Drift of the Phantasm's only in here so that I can tutor it with Intruder Alarm. Dreamstalker is only in here in case I have to grab a phantasmal image with a Court of Calling, and then I can Dreamstalker bounce Drift of the Phantasm so that I can tutor Intruder Alarm. Because the entire deck is based off of getting out an Intruder Alarm. There's 4 Court of Callings, 4 War Gates, because I've got the Kyora's Follower, Voyaging Satyr, Intruder Alarm, Forbidden Orchard combo. And those, once I've got infinite mana, those will just grab me my other combo pieces. Next up is a really, really, really cheap deck, as you can see. I've got Bump in the Night. I've got Digraph Ghouls. I've got Gravecrawlers. I've got Rakdos Cacklers. I've got Asylum Visitors. Basically, every creature in here has higher power than what I am casting it for. Bad Moon is really good. Sign in Blood can win you games when they're at 2 life and you make them draw 2 cards. Sangrophage is awesome. Durakov is weird. I find I really like it because I usually somehow have extra lands sitting in hand. Next up is a mono blue fairies list. Sounds weird because recently a lot of people have been playing fairies with red and black, or just red for the goblin dude. But I decided to see what I could do with mono blue, and I really enjoy it. It's just straight fairies. I'm countering your stuff, I'm playing out fairies, I'm just being really tempo-y. That's basically it. Next up is one that I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to play 5 matches of. Because, as you can see, it's Shadowborn Apostles. Except it's got no demons in it, you're saying. But that's not what this deck does. It plays out a Thrumming Stone on turn 5. And then plays a Shadowborn Apostle on turn 6. Everything else in the deck tutors for Thrumming Stone. Beseech the Queens, I need to have 5 lands out for it to work. Brain Spoils, Demonic Tutors, Drift of the Phantasms and Dimir Machinist are just in here so that I can tutor for Fabricate or Beseech the Queen. Those tutor for tutors. Actually, they can't even tutor for Beseech the Queen. They straight up just tutor for Fabricate. That's how badly this deck is. That's how bad this deck is. It's playing 34 Shadowborn Apostles and 26 Thrumming Stones. Yeah, that's it. 30 lands. Because I found that was best. Keep it around 1/3 land, 1/3 Shadowborn Apostle, 1/3 Thrumming Stones. Because with Thrumming Stone it's Ripple 4, so I'm with 1/3 Shadowborn Apostles, I'm guaranteed at least 1 Shadowborn Apostle in that 4. Now, guaranteed is the wrong word, because later on I probably won't hit them because there will be less in the deck. Now on to Pauper, which are 2 decks that I'm kind of worried about. I know this one can win, but it's real jank. I call it Birds with Swords. I play a sword with Bonesaw or Leonin Smiter or Bone Splinter or Morningstar, and then I put it on a bird like Stormcrow or Augury Owl or Squadron Hawks or even Riftwatcher or Cloudfin Raptor. That's it. Next is Fairies Are a Thing, which they're not. This is actually kind of bad deck. I should just be playing blue-black control and Pauper, but I wanted to see if fairies would work. And they do kinda. But it's basically, this is the reason I built the mono blue fairies in Modern, because I saw it working kinda here with the blue ones. The black cards in here aren't the best, but they work. So, those are my 15 decks. My mouth is dry. I'm going to start off with the first deck, which will be Modern Amulet's End. If I don't win a match in my first 3 matches, I'm going to jump over to the Just for Fun bracket and play my 4th and 5th over there. And I still don't even think I might win one of those. But here it goes. I will see you guys in match 1.